नो, यू डोंट नीड टू ज्वाइन फ्रॉम मोबाइल. यहाँ पे स्क्रीन है, आप स्क्रीन को देखिए एंड यू कैन राइट डाउन योर नोट्स. इफ यू वांट यू कैन राइट डाउन, यू कैन नोट डाउन, राइट. Yes. So in the last lecture, we started with the magnetic properties of the materials. Then I told you about the origin of magnetism. What is the origin of magnetism? Magnetism, there are different materials which are, when kept inside the magnetic field, they behave differently, right? They are either attracted or they are being repelled in the magnetic field, right? So we discussed about what is the origin of the magnetism. So we started with the reason that there are two different reasons which are responsible for the origin of the magnetism. First reason was the orbital motion of the electron, right, or the orbital momentum of the electron, and second reason was the spin magnetic moment of the electron, right. So you know that because as per the classical theory, the electron is revolving around the nucleus. If you see, this kind of model is there. So if this is the electron and this is the center, then this electron is revolving around the nucleus, right. So because of the revolution of the electron, there is a current loop which is being generated, right. It behaves like a current loop because electron is a charged particle, right. And when charge is revolving in a circular orbit, that means that a current loop is there, a current loop is generated. And you know that when the current circulates in a loop, when the current circulates in a circular orbit, then it generates magnetic field, right. So a magnetic moment is generated because of the movement of this electron around the nucleus, right. At the same time, we know that the electron also spins around itself, right. If the electron is revolving around the nucleus, at the same time the electron is also spinning around itself. So if this is the axis of the spin, then the electron may spin like this or the electron may spin like this around its own axis, right. So due to this spin of the electron, another kind of magnetic moment will be generated, which is known as the spin magnetic moment, right. So two reasons which are responsible for the origin of the magnetism was, number one, orbital motion, of the electron, and number two was spin motion of the electron, right. So due to the orbital motion of the electron, orbital magnetic moment is generated, which is known as mu El, right. And due to the spin motion of the electron, spin magnetic moment is generated, right. So yesterday we talked about the orbital magnetic moment of the electron. We derived the expression for the orbital magnetic moment of the electron, right. Mu El was equal to minus E upon 4 pi m into under root small l into L plus 1, right. So that was your orbital magnetic moment, right. Now today we are going to discuss what is the spin motion of the electron and what is the momentum generated due to the spin of the electron. right? So due to the spinning of the electron, another kind of momentum is generated and project it like this. So this contribution of magnetic moment arises from the spin motion of the electrons, and we know that electron, in addition to the orbital angular momentum L, has an intrinsic spin angular momentum S, which can be written as S is equal to h upon 2 pi under root of S into S plus 1. Okay, where S is the spin quantum number, right? And it can take values maybe plus half or minus half depending upon whether the electron has up spin or down spin, right? If it is up spin, then the value will be half. If it is down spin, then the value will be minus half, right? So S can take two values plus minus half. Okay, accordingly, capital S, which is spin angular momentum, can be written as, its value would be under root 3 by 2 h cross, where h cross is h upon 2 pi. जब आप s is equal to half इसमें put करोगे, then you will get this value, s is equal to under root 3 by 2 h cut. Okay, so this is the spin angular momentum, and the magnetic moment generated due to this spin angular momentum of the electron is given by mu s is equal to minus g. See, all these derivations you have done in atomic and molecular physics. कोर्स किया है ना आपने atomic and molecular physics का, वहाँ पे आपने ये सारा कुछ किया हुआ है. You have done the magnetic moment, you have studied about the quantum numbers, you have studied about the momentum which is generated due to various quantum numbers, right? Total magnetic moment भी आपने पढ़ा है, but this is required for the chapter to proceed. So I'm just giving you a recap of all these things, but otherwise you people are supposed to be aware of all these things, right? So mu s is given by, what is mu s? Mu s is the magnetic moment due to spin of the electron. Yeah, please come. Okay, mu s is given by the magnetic moment due to spin of the electron. So mu s is equal to minus gs under root s into s plus 1 eh upon 4 pi m. Eh upon 4 pi m. Okay, so this is the the magnetic moment due to the spin of the electrons, right? So what is gs over here? Gs, we will discuss the negative sign later. Gs here, gs here is called, this is a constant and this is called Landes splitting factor. This is called Landes splitting factor. Okay, ये भी आपने एटॉमिक एंड मॉलिक्यूलर फिजिक्स में किया हुआ है, पढ़ा हुआ है. G की वैल्यू आपने बकायदा वहाँ पे निकाली हुई है, राइट? So G is the Landes splitting factor and its value is 2 for a free electron. Its value is 2 for a free electron. Its value is 2 for a free electron. Okay, so negative sign here shows that spin moment is opposite to the orbital magnetic moment, right? What is mu b? See, EH upon 4 pi m here is mu b, Bohr magneton, right? Bohr magneton क्या है? Orbital magnetic moment का unit है, right? So what does it mean? Spin magnetic moment is opposite to the orbital magnetic moment, right? So negative sign is meant for that only, right? So this is the spin magnetic moment. Then let's talk about the total magnetic moment. See, because atom as a whole, it is possessing a magnetic moment, right? Atom as a whole is possessing magnetic moment, and that total magnetic moment is due to two factors which I told you: orbital magnetic moment and number 2 spin magnetic moment, right? Orbital magnetic moment is due to the orbital motion of the electron, which is due to the orbital angular momentum, and spin magnetic moment is due to the spin motion of the electron, which is due to the spin angular momentum. Okay, so now the total angular momentum, the total magnetic moment of the atom will be due to these two components, right? Mu L and mu S, right? Magnetic moment due to the orbital motion and the magnetic moment due to the spin motion. Okay, so total magnetic moment of the atomic system is given by mu j. It is denoted by mu j. Now what is j? See, capital L was the orbital angular momentum of the system, right? And capital S was the spin angular momentum of the system, right? Capital L is orbital angular momentum and capital S was the spin angular momentum, right? These two are responsible for the magnetic moment due to orbital motion, and S is responsible for the magnetic moment due to spin motion, right? So total angular momentum means which constitutes the orbital angular momentum and the spin angular momentum. J is the sum of both of these. J is equal to L plus S, right? Now the total magnetic moment of the system will be due to this J only, right? So mu J, which is the total magnetic moment of the system, is given by mu J is equal to minus G under root of J into J plus 1 EH upon 4 pi m. EH upon 4 pi m. Okay. So again, we know that what is G? G is the Landis splitting factor, and its value is given by G is equal to 1 plus, see, if you want to, in general its value is 2 for a single free electron, right? But in case if you want to determine the value of G for different values of L and S, right, where there is a, see, let us suppose we are having an atom with higher number of electrons. There is not only single electron, there are 2, 3, 4, 5 electrons, right? तो उस केस में क्या होगा, L की वैल्यू भी डिफरेंट होगी, S की वैल्यू भी डिफरेंट होगी, right? Then in that case you will have a different value of J, right? So G can be calculated by using the expression 1 plus J into J plus 1 plus S into S plus 1 minus L into L plus 1 divided by 2J into J plus 1. Okay, this is how you can calculate the value of G if there is more than one electron in a atomic system. Okay, is it clear? Right, so this is G, and mu J could be written as minus G under root of J into J plus 1 mu B. Okay, yeah, sure, please. ठीक है? Okay, so one more request please from you, because now you people are coming physically in the classrooms. Please maintain the social distancing, right? Please follow all the norms of COVID that has been specified by the university, right? Mask is important. You know the importance of mask, because in the past we all are aware of what are the consequences going to be, राइट. सो हम अपनी सुरक्षा के खुद जिम्मेदार हैं, राइट. ओके, सो दिस इज म्यू जे. म्यू जे इज द टोटल मैग्नेटिक मूवमेंट ऑफ द सिस्टम ड्यू टू टू कंपोनेंट्स, orbital component, orbital angular momentum and spin angular momentum, right? Okay, fine. So this is about, these were some basic things which you should know, and then after that, just those who are online, are you able to see the screen and everything is okay?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
very much.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
So now next is, what is magnetic intensity, what is magnetic field, what is magnetic flux, some basic things which we should know before going in deep into the chapter. Okay, so what do you mean by magnetic intensity?
How much intense is magnetic
Yes.
field?
Yes, yes.
The
The
number of
force
magnetic field
experienced
lines.
by, yes, if you keep a magnet inside the field, then how much force is experienced by the north pole of the magnet, right? Yes, please come. So that defines the intensity of the magnetic field. Magnetic field कितनी strong है, राइट, कितनी जल्दी वो किसी मटेरियल को मैग्नेटाइज कर सकती है, कितनी जल्दी जो है वो मटेरियल रोटेट हो रहा है विद इन अंडर द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ द magnetic field, right? So that defines the magnetic field intensity, right? So by definition you can say that the intensity of magnetic field at any point in a magnetic field is the force experienced by a unit north pole placed at that point. Okay, so this is the force experienced by a unit north pole, okay, in the magnetic field. It is represented by H, capital H, right? It's a vector quantity. It's a vector quantity and its units are Weber per meter square. Okay, so this is magnetic field intensity, and you must be knowing magnetic flux density, right? So if you have a unit cross-sectional area, then how much magnetic lines of force are passing through that unit cross-sectional area defines your magnetic field, magnetic flux density, right? एक unit area के अंदर कितनी magnetic lines of force cross हो रही हैं? Yes, that is magnetic flux density. Yeah, perpendicularly, okay. So B, it is denoted by B. B is the magnetic flux density. B is the magnetic flux density, and the relation between B and H is B is equal to mu naught H, where mu naught is the permeability of free space, okay. Mu naught is the permeability of free space. Permeability of free space, okay. So yeah, after this let's talk about the magnetization. What do you mean by magnetization?
Ma'am, how much of material is magnetized when it is placed in a magnetic field?
Yes, how much the material is magnetized when it is placed inside the magnetic field is magnetization. Okay. Yeah, we will discuss that. We are going for that only. Okay. I think best way is I should remove my this, because the people who are communicating from there, they are not able to hear you, and so I can just remove this. Yes, students, am I audible to those who are online?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So, what does magnetization means? See, when a magnetic material is placed inside the magnetic field, the magnetic dipoles experience a torque and they tend to align in the direction of the magnetic field, right? See, let's say, see any material, it shows the magnetic properties because of its dipoles, because of the dipoles present inside the system, right? So if we have a material, let's say, and these are the dipoles with different orientations. When you apply the magnetic field to this system, then these dipoles, they will experience a torque, they will experience a force, and hence they will try to align themselves along the direction of the magnetic field. Okay, so this torque, this produces a net magnetic moment. Due to this, a net magnetic moment is generated, right? And what is that net magnetic moment? So you can say M is equal to, magnetization of a material is equal to mu M divided by V. V is the volume of the specimen which we are taking. Okay, so M is equal to mu M upon V, where mu M is the magnetic moment, mu M is the magnetic moment, mu M is the magnetic moment. So if the material has, let's say, area A, if A is the area of this material, and let's say L is the length of the material, then you can say that, because mu M is the magnetic dipole, and it's given by what? P into L, the pole strength multiplied by the length of the dipole. Okay, so this is mu M, and volume V can be written as area into length. Okay, so it means that magnetization is given by PL divided by AL, which is equal to P upon A. P upon A, right? Okay, so M can be defined as pole strength per unit area. Pole strength per unit area, its SI unit is Weber per meter square. Weber per meter square. Okay, next one is magnetic permeability. These are very small things, and you might have studied these things in your earlier classes also. But since we are going to proceed with this chapter, it is important to recall all these things. Magnetic permeability. Magnetic permeability. Okay, so magnetic permeability is defined as, it is denoted by mu, and mu is defined as the ratio of magnetic flux density to the applied magnetic field H, right? So mu is equal to B upon H, where B is the magnetic flux density and H is the applied magnetic field. For free space, mu is denoted by mu naught, and its value is 4 pi into 10 raised to power minus 7 Henry per meter. Okay, the one more thing which is very important, because if you want to compare two different medias, then there must be a specific quantity to be used, right? So that is known as mu R, relative permeability. Relative permeability is defined as the ratio of permeability of a medium to permeability of free space, right? Mu upon mu naught is known as the relative permeability. Okay, so this actually determines the degree of magnetization of a material, how much the material is magnetized, degree of magnetization of a material, because we are comparing this with the free space. So with respect to free space, how much a material has been magnetized, that is being determined by the permeability. Okay. So this was about permeability. The next one is magnetic susceptibility. Magnetic susceptibility. It is denoted by this. So magnetic susceptibility means how much a material is susceptible to the applied magnetic field. कितना easily वो magnetize हो सकता है, that is known as the magnetic susceptibility. Okay. So when a magnetic material is placed in a magnetic field of intensity, let's say H, the material is magnetized and it acquires a magnetization, let's say M. Okay. For an isotropic medium, this magnetization is proportional to applied field. ठीक है, उतना ज्यादा magnetization होगा जितनी ज्यादा magnetic field apply करोगे. Okay. So magnetization is directly proportional to H. This constant of proportionality can be removed by a constant which is known as chi or susceptibility, and this is M is equal to chi H, or you can say chi is equal to M upon H, right? So susceptibility is the constant of proportionality, and it is called magnetic susceptibility, and it is defined as the ratio of magnetization magnetization to the applied magnetic field. Okay, so this is susceptibility. We also know that B, H and M. B is the magnetic flux density, H is the applied magnetic field, M is the magnetization. These three quantities are related by the expression B is equal to mu naught into H plus M in free space. Okay, B is equal to mu naught into H plus M, right? At the same time, we also know that B is equal to mu H. ठीक है, ये भी हमको पता है. So दोनों को अगर compare करोगे, so you will came to know that, yeah, one more thing, because this M is from here, M is equal to chi H होता है, right? So you can substitute it here. So this could be written as mu naught into H plus chi H. So this is equal to mu naught H into 1 plus chi. ठीक है? Okay. So now you compare this and this. दोनों को compare कर दीजिए. So you will come to know that mu is equal to mu naught into 1 plus chi. यही पता चला ना, दोनों को कंपेयर करोगे तो, राइट? यहाँ पे भी h है, यहाँ पे भी h है, बाकी रेस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स कैन बी कंपेयर्ड. सो mu is equal to mu naught into 1 plus chi, right? So this is the relation between permeability and susceptibility. ठीक है, अगर mu को इस तरफ ले जाओगे, so mu upon mu naught is known as mu r, permeability, relative permeability. So mu r is equal to 1 plus chi. ठीक है, और यू कैन से chi is equal to mu r minus 1. Mu r minus 1. ठीक है, so this is the relation between permeability and susceptibility. बहुत बार एग्जाम में छोटे छोटे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, 1 नंबर के, 2 नंबर के, and you may be asked to derive the relation between permeability and susceptibility. ठीक है, ऐसे करना है. Clear? Okay. Okay, now if you have any doubt, please ask me. Yes, students, those who are online, they can also ask their doubts. Yes, students.
Ma'am, will you please upload like the PPTs which you have taught today or yesterday on the LMS?
Yes, yes, of course. I am uploading it simultaneously because once my lecture is over, my next task is to upload the PPT on your LMS. So if you will see my LMS page, you will find each and every PPT over there. ठीक है. एंड में मैं क्या करती हूँ, जो कंप्लीट पीपीटी होती है वो भी उस पर अपलोड कर देती हूँ. लेक्चर वाइज तो है ही वहाँ पे, बट by the end of the lecture the complete ppt is also being uploaded over there. And one more thing, the link, the video recorded link for each lecture is also given over there. Okay, you can see my LMS. I can show you the page. Just a minute.
Ma'am, the second module which you have started yesterday is not there.
Yes, it is there, beta. Please check, it is there.
Ma'am, I have checked on my account. It is showing up to lecture 5th.
Just a minute, just a minute. Yes, this is the page, and if you see, I have uploaded the yesterday's PPT also. Just a minute, let me share my screen. Yes, Preeti, can you see the screen? Can you see my LMS page?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So if you see over here, see, this is module 1, transport theory, and all 5 lectures are there, all 5 PPTs are there, then link for lecture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is also there, and then by the end complete PPT is also there. Then since we switched to topic 4, we switched to module 4 instead of going to topic 2 and 3, right? Then this presentation for the last lecture, for the yesterday's lecture, is also being uploaded over here. आप please एक बार check करिएगा अपना, उसमें होगा ये, ठीक है?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so this is all for today, and in the next lecture we will start with the classification of magnetic materials. So we will be discussing the diamagnetic, paramagnetic, and ferromagnetic, antiferromagnetic, paramagnetic, ferrimagnetic materials, right? Okay, so that's all for today, students. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you.